What up, HyperChange? Welcome to another episode. Before we kick things off, I want to start with saying a prayer for Ukraine. My thoughts and prayers have just been with the people of Ukraine. I can't. It's almost like I have no words. What's going on with this tragedy, other than I'm in full support of Ukraine and all my thoughts are with them. And I think it's only appropriate. Like I don't even want to make this episode now, but I think it's only appropriate to start with a moment, a prayer for Ukraine. And you know, just on team peace and love, not war. um I don't, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like heartbreaking for me to even think about, because I feel like we have so many problems as humans. The fact that we're fighting kind of like, I don't know, it just makes me super sad. So I don't even really want to make this episode right now, but um I got to update y'all on what's happening. And I didn't know if there was ever going to be a good time to put out an episode. And I know some of y'all want to know what's up, maybe. So I guess I'll tell you. Oh, man. So long story short is I'm so burned out. Like I don't even know how to start this. And I kind of wanted to make this video like a HyperChange graduation or like some sort of new thing. But like, I don't know. This has been like I started HyperChange maybe 5 years ago, going all in. Like I think it was April 2017, March 2017. So that's like almost 5 years ago. I started this YouTube channel with like zero, or I think I had like 100 subscribers then when I decided to work on it full time. And was just living with two roommates in a converted living room that was a bedroom, and that was the HyperChange HQ, recording it next to my bed. And I feel like since then, like I've literally been sprinting nonstop. And I haven't stopped for like a single second. Like my brain is just constantly hyperchange. It's constantly busy, constantly startups. It's constantly thinking about creative ways to make videos, to make content, trying to make everyone happy. And I feel like I'm kind of honestly at like a breaking point. Like I just am, and I didn't even realize like the word burned out is not even in my vocabulary until my dad, like I was talking to him about it last night. And he's like, dude, you're so burnt out, Gali. And I was like, that's the word I'm looking for. Like, I just don't like, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense, but just kind of come clean on this episode. Like it's not going to be very to the point. It's going to be all over the place and ADHD. Like I'm super ADHD. And that's kind of why I back myself into this problem of like, I've been taking on so much, like running HyperChange, trying to make content, trying to document my investing journey publicly for free so everybody can follow me, everybody can learn what I'm doing. Like that's been my true north. And that's what HyperChange is. That's what you're watching now. And that's why I think me making this video is kind of like so important for this whole journey. But you know, like, so I started HyperChange and I'm sprinting with HyperChange. I'm sprinting. And then in the past couple of years, it's just been like all these things keep adding on to like just give you like, I'm trying like, and I don't know if you know my life besides HyperChange. Sometimes I feel like I try and hide, like, I don't know. It's just like HyperChange is just one sort of sliver of my personality. And it's like, I'm doing HyperChange. I'm thinking about all this content and I'm thinking about the business angles, these complex ideas that I want to create into videos. Then I'm thinking about how I want to film that video in not only the most powerful way, but also the most time efficient way. Cause I do everything myself. Like this is actually the second time I'm recording this video because yesterday I recorded it, spent a bunch of time tweeting, trying to get the editor, going back and forth with a couple editors. The sound just wasn't where I wanted it. And so now I'm re-recording this whole episode. So even though this episode with like no editing and it looks like no work went into it, like I actually, I have to spend like all this time making sure I had to charge my camera, set up the tripod, angle up the tripod. I ran 4 tests with these 2 different mics to make sure that this mic wasn't going to have feedback. It still might be fucking up. I don't even know, but, it's just like, and I do everything independently. And so, and I edit my videos myself. I post them. I come up with the ideas. Like I literally have no help. And it's just like, I love that sort of independent angle to it, but it's just too much. I'm taking on way more than I can chew. Like I have 10 videos that I wanted to finish that I haven't finished. Hypercharts. We just started this software company. We bootstrapped it with $500. It just sold for a couple $1,000,000 to public. And now it's like, now I got to do all these meetings with public, figure out how to integrate hypercharts. Like let's scheme on building a new Google Finance 2.0. Like that's not a side hustle. You know what I mean? Like that's another huge project that I'm like committing a bunch of time to, not making public content about, but I think is super important to build software tools so people can understand financial markets. And then my other part of my brain is doing HyperGuap. So I have these 3 companies that I'm running as sort of an empire. HyperGuap my VC firm, it's like, all right, I'm writing a bunch of angel checks. That's even another job that I didn't even talk to you about. It's like, I've invested in 30 startups now. And so that's constantly taking meetings, constantly thinking about startups, constantly scheming on confidential stuff that I can't make videos about, which is super annoying. And then I was like, okay, how do I bring my subscribers in? How do I disrupt VC? I can create a crowd-funded VC firm. So while I'm doing Hypercharts, while I'm doing Hyperchange, I decided to start my own VC firm last year in January. Also in January last year, I joined the board of Arcimoto. So I'm a public director of a company. Like, I got to have meetings, executives, do business stuff, make strategic moves behind the scenes, all confidential. So like the amount of hats I'm wearing has been ridiculous. And even with HyperGuap, it's like, right now I've been having this insane midlife crisis of like, okay, HyperGuap, almost it makes me feel so guilty that I'm only investing in private companies that nobody else can access when I built my entire career saying Tesla, Bitcoin. That's what I've been pounding the table on for 10 years, and they've gone up 100x, both of them. And I'm proud of that because I wrote it in my book 4 years ago. And I feel like the two little ideas that I thought were so crazy that might change the world, like, I'm actually watching them change the world. And that's been so inspiring. And like, I still think Bitcoin and Tesla are in their early days, honestly. But with private companies, you can't buy the stock in the companies I'm talking about. You can't participate in that upside. So maybe you're not incentivized to listen to that content. And like, how am I doing a service to the financial markets if I'm just making the rich people richer? Now I'm going over the wall, becoming a douchebag VC. Like, this is but at the same time, it's like, me as an investor, like, I was broke AF when I started HyperChange a couple years ago. Now, like, I made a bunch of money because my Tesla stock went up. I don't really make like I make enough money from the channel to like pay my bills every day, but it's not like getting me a ton of cash flow to do stuff. Like, the way I've actually made money is just all my investments have gone up a ton. And so if I think about my own strategic sort of, I don't know, and my ambition is big. Like, I want enough money so I can live comfortably, but it's much more than that. Like, I have ambitions to change the world and be a powerful person and like do big things that matter, whether it's art, whether it's videos, whether it's start companies. Like, these things all require capital. And I don't know, I'm sort of a cynical person in that, like, I believe a lot of the good in the world that I want to see won't happen unless like we kind of all manifest it. And so that's like where my need, and I'm just kind of trying to set the tone for arcing of my goals. And I think it's like Gary Vee says, like, you want to work 9 to 5 and check out and be chill and have an easy job. That's dope, but don't expect to have the dopest house with the dopest car. Not even that's the goal, or, millions of dollars of capital, which are your resources to take a huge bet on a company you want to start. Like, I have a company that I want to start where I need to like rent a warehouse, and like, so I grow like artisanal peppers, right? Like, that's one of my hobbies. And I grow like I have a seed bank from all these cool little peppers around the world, and I grow them indoors, and then I dehydrate them and I turn them into pepper flakes, and I make like this. So it's like, this is like McCormick's pepper flakes. It's almost done. And the consistency is a little too fine of a powder, not really a flake. So I wasn't happy with that. But this is a blend of like ahi mango, which is like a sweet mango-y pepper, and a special type of serrano. So it's like a blend of artisanal pepper flakes. And I want to like, I don't know, it's not really a business, but I'm just like super passionate about growing artisanal local food in a fun, creative way. And like, honestly, one of my top secret ideas, I shouldn't even say this, is like, I want to create new pepper breeds. And I think of like, I love art and creativity. And like, to me, making a new fruit or vegetable is super creative and inspiring. And like, that's something I want to do. And so I have like this whole vision for like a company that's like a new vertically integrated artisanal farming company with sort of a decentralized micro environment approach that starts with peppers and has like this whole breeding initiative. But it's like, I don't want VCs to tell me what to do with that. I don't want investors to tell me how to run that company. Like, I want 10 million in the bank, and I want to write a $5 million check to that company, buy a warehouse, hire my people, do it my way, not worrying about making revenue for 10 years, and just build the technology and do it my way. And like, that's, I don't think a lot of people have businesses in their head that they want to start that require 50 or $100 million of their own capital. So maybe that's why they don't want to accrue that much capital, but I do. So getting back to that point, it's like, shit, like, I'm investing in the dopest startups ever. I'm writing them $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 checks because I'm broke. And half the time I'm like loaning money from my homies to write these checks, but I'm literally getting the creme de la creme startup deal flow in the world. Like, man. And I'm really trying to be humble, and like, I don't want to brag too much, but I also feel like I just got to kind of like say the truth sometimes. Like Daddy, this male fertility startup, a sperm storage kit that like is really dope. Sounds kind of like a weird startup, but it's going to totally change make it easier for people to make babies. One of the biggest problems in the world is the fertility crisis. We're not having enough babies, getting harder and harder to make a baby. Invest in this super dope company. Daddy, homie founder, Tom, shout out. Like he was a HyperChange subscriber. That's how he hit me up. And he's like the biggest homie. And he just sold his company for a 5X, you know, it was 5X from what I invested it in maybe like a year later. So it's like, damn, I started hitting all these home runs. Like, I got a bunch of equity in Say. They sold to Robinhood. You know, just getting this creme de, and even like Rainbow Wallet. I invested in Rainbow Wallet. I don't even want to say what numbers. Well, okay, I invested. I think it was like a $6 million valuation, and now they're at like, I don't know what their last round they raised over 100 million, and if they wanted to raise again, they'll probably be over $1 billion. So it's like all of these insane home runs, and I'm like, okay, well, mathematically, just to like a couple $1,000 going up 100 or 200x is dope. But if I can write a $2 million check and then that goes up 100x and I get 15 to 20% carry, like that's what my VC fund was. And honestly, like I'm hella proud. Shout out to Cooley, shout out to Aiden. Like literally had to pioneer a new type of venture firm that was launched on YouTube on the internet. From like, I don't know how many other YouTube comments communities have launched incredible VC syndicates. And like we did it and kind of created this new type of firm, which essentially for me is leveraging my own capital. And so I can basically get the equivalent upside of $100,000 check, even though I have $5,000 that I'm writing because of the carry, because of that synthetic exposure I get through the carry, which is a percentage of the profit. So I don't know if I'm like going too deep into this, but like you deploy $1 million, it 5x's to 5 million. When we cash out, I get entitled to 15 or 20% of the profits as the VC who set up that deal, depending on how much we set it up. So let's say it's, 15% of 4 million. I don't know, what's that, $600,000 or something. So that would be like, and versus my 5,000 going up 5x would turn into 25, but now I have 625,000 from a from a 5K investment, even though it went up 5x because of this leverage. So what I'm just trying to break it down of like the incentives, like kind of like don't watch what I'm saying, watch what I'm doing in some ways of like, I think if you were trying to maximize the alpha on your portfolio, still investing in morally companies that are building the future support, then I think the strategy that I've unlocked to do SPVs, augmenting my own capital with leverage without debt, is like, frankly, just like an insanely swag business model that I think everybody's rushing to copy as fast as they can, even VCs who already have funds that I know. And so I don't think it'll last, but at the same time, like we did 9 deals, we deployed $21 million in this VC firm that I started in 1 year. It's like, damn, that's crazy. Like not just raised 21 million, but deployed it. And not just deployed it, but deployed it into creme de la creme, like shit that 2 rounds later, Andreessen will lead. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to, anyway, but that might actually happen, but for one of them. But, and it's like, I don't know, like, man, I don't know. I kind of like hate myself even talking about this. And I just feel like I'm so lame, but I'm trying to like just give you all sides of what's going on in my brain. And so now I'm going back and forth of like, wait, like I have insane deal flow. Like, let's start a VC fund. Everybody's telling me to start a VC fund. Let's raise 10 or $20 million. Like that means we get hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to pay Aiden, to pay you. Like, it'll just take what you're doing to the next level. But like, if I do that, am I getting sucked into just like being a VC, to making the rich richer, to losing what HyperChange is, to losing what my mission is? Like, I never wanted to be a VC. I actually hate VCs and I hate the old boys club. And I just got like pulled into it because like I'm talking to these founders anyway. I'm already making a video with them. They already have 500K left in the round. And I'm like, damn, like screw meeting with those 10 VCs who are douchebags who are going to be annoying AF. Let me just write you the 500K. It'll be faster for you. It'll be easier for you. Like I'm really helping out these founders. And so that's another thing pulling me of like, as much as I hate like who the LPs are and how it's not distributed fairly to everybody getting a chance to invest in these companies, if I can be the check that is the difference between starting this company or not, or 6 months of fundraising versus not, then that can actually move the needle on changing the world. Because the companies I'm investing in, the call I just had, I'm not even allowed to say it. But like, it's literally about to pull me out of retirement to do another deal because I'm so excited about this. And I think it's going to have and I think in 10 or 20 years, my decision to back this company now and to fund them and to help them move faster and help them succeed could have an incredibly powerful impact on what is frankly a horrible industry for the planet in the long run. So I see, right now you look at that, Wait But Why, I think it's called, or Now You Know, I always forget. It's that blog that does really long in-depth pieces that Elon likes. and he has this beautiful chart of like the tree of possibilities. So like you see your life and like your decision today can like sort of change your tree, right? And so I feel like that's kind of the moment I'm in, is like I need to decide what tree I want to go on. Do I want to be like take this new path of like, you know, VC and really try and make a bunch of money and then do something good, or do I want to be like, whoa, Gali, like everybody's pulling you in one direction. Like people want you to start a VC fund. People want you to help them with their startup here. People like, and then you know what I realized at the end of the day out of all this shit is that I feel like I'm letting everybody down in my life. Like I feel like I'm letting you down because I'm not making good enough videos. I feel like I'm letting my Patreons down because I'm not putting out the newsletter when I said I would. And I said I feel like I'm letting out also all y'all because I said I was going to write the sequel to this book, which I've been trying to, but I like don't have enough time, and I haven't been, it's not, I can't, like, I don't know. I just can't do it. Like, I don't have enough energy or time or focus or organization. Like, there's so many, like my board of Archimoto, I feel like that's been a really awesome like experience. And I feel like I'm really helping the company and just, it's dope. But even that, it's like, I want to give them more. Like, so even in my friends and my family and like just everything, I feel like I need to give people more in my life. And what I realized a lot about that is like, it's the reason why I feel like I'm letting everyone down is because there's one person or thing that I'm letting down first, and that's myself, because I'm not putting out videos I'm proud to watch. So until I put out a video that I'm proud to watch, like I'm not happy or excited to do anything. Like I need to make myself happy first. And like when I was making Tesla videos, like I got up every day and it was like, holy shit, like Tesla needs to succeed. Like this is like literally a Hail Mary fourth quarter pass to save climate change. This company's hanging on by a thread. They have the technology and the vision to get us off fossil fuels. Like I will wake up every day, research Tesla till 2 a.m, make videos, pour my blood, sweat, and tears into this company, go to David Einhorn's office, a billionaire, meet with him and his homies, beg him to buy this, get on the phone with Bill Ackman, say, stop trying to sell a gigafactory to us, buy some stock and support this shit and be a part of a better future. Like, I don't know, like that, like, I like felt like I was on like a cruise. I don't know why. I like to give those examples of the Wall Street people because like I went on CNBC. Like I hate CNBC. Like they're just garbo. But like I was like, okay, I'll go on CNBC on Bloomberg. I'll take the call with the Wall Street Journal. Like I'll put it on a video. I'll call out Goldman Sachs. Like I'll try and organize people to get on the Tesla earnings call. I'll spend all this time working with Say to develop a system that Tesla can use to give retail. Like I just felt like, I don't want to say like a martyr, but it's like bigger than you. Like you're a part of, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Tesla needs to succeed. Like that's my life. And it's so, I don't know if I'll ever feel that way again about anything because, and like now it's like Tesla's going to succeed. Like they don't need me. Like there's a gazillion, like, you know, I used to do I used to live stream the Tesla earnings call or the Tesla, like right when the shareholder letter came out. And that's how I started this whole earnings call thing. And nobody did that on YouTube. And now I do the live stream and like there's like 800 streams. Like y'all, right? Like it's like, dog, like I don't know. So in some ways I kind of love that, like I don't feel like I need to do HyperChange in some ways anymore because there's like all these kind of like YouTube clones that have popped up that cover it already. And like I think that's so cool. And I've seen this ecosystem blossom, but you know, it's not moving the needle. So that's kind of like my internal motivation is like, what's my next thing that like makes me happy, that gets me up every day? I got to figure that out because once I figure that out, I'll be able to start making everyone else in my life happy. Like, and I think that's kind of I'm saying this out loud because as much as I like, you know, HyperChange, documenting my journey, all this shit, like I don't want you to start a YouTube channel. I don't think you should start talking about stocks or investing. That's not kind of the goal. The inspiration, I mean, that is dope and that is kind of part of the goal, but the goal is to like show you that you can do your own thing and that you can like kind of have an idea that nobody believes in, but like you believe in it and maybe you'll work hard and like maybe like it'll work out. Like I don't know, like that happened to me and like I don't know. So I hope and I give all my friends this advice of like you should start a YouTube channel. Like why don't you change the world? Like why don't you quit your job and like leave all that money behind and take a risk and like actually do something big with your life, you know? Like I be telling my homies that all the time, like. And I realized and to some degree, I'm not even following that advice for maybe the past year or two. Like I was when I started HyperChange, but it's like now it's like what do I do at 2 a.m.? Like, I used to read SEC filings and stay up till 2 a.m. Now it's like HyperChange is my 9 to 5. At 2 a.m., I'm in the studio, but I'm making beats, but I'm working on my stand up, but I'm trying to design products that are like sculptures, but I want to do my painting, but I'm trying to like design fashion and clothes, and I'm meeting with my merch people. And like, those are the creative projects that like give me a lot of fulfillment and I'm really proud of. And so yeah, and like I don't know, so I'm trying to internalize, and that's why like I thought about all these promises, like I'm gonna do this in this 30 days, I'm gonna commit to this challenge, I'm gonna do that, like, and I realized that like what I really need is to not commit to anything, because that's like my problem, is that the second I say I'm not gonna do something, then I'm like, oh, but I'll do that, and it's like not like I need to take 30 days. So my goal and my kind of point in this video is like I'm just taking a 30-day break. I'm not checking. I mean, I'm going to have to check my phone sometimes, I guess, but I'm going to try and not have my phone. I'm not really going to try and be on my computer. I'll do some tweets maybe, because it's always fun to tweet, but I'm going to like unplug. That's the point. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to document why I'm unplugging and all that stuff, because I think it's really good. And like, I lost my phone for 2 days, and I feel like that may have changed my life forever, because it was so like, I realized just how sucked in I was, and how like, that's kind of a metaphor for everything I'm doing in my life. You know, your phone sucks you in, your attention, and you like feel it, and then you don't really feel good afterward, but it sucks you in, and that's every business. Like, I used to wake up, like, but this is why I love losing my phone. I would wake up and I get 10 texts, and it's like 8 Twitter DMs, and do this video, do that. You got time for a call? Can we catch up on this? You got to do that. Sign this. Your account's what's good with this. The tax people are doing that, but you didn't do some compliance thing for HyperGuap, and now you got to do this and this other insane. Like, it's just like so much exciting, so much good, but it's like it just felt like this kind of bombardment. And so on one hand, I'm like, that's such a good problem to have, and I'm so blessed, and like my ADD, like, which I love and I think is a superpower, like got me into this situation of saying yes to everything, like taking on way more than I can chew, and like always being distracted, losing focus, and not following through. But like, I love that, and I feel like I've tasted so much of the world, and I've tasted so many things, and like that would have never happened if my parents gave me a pill. Like, I don't take it, Adderall, you know, I take cold brew, I guess, but I don't, like, you know, and I think I love that. And so it's just kind of like me trying to like, you know, realize how much of a crazy, you know, creative person I am, and say like, yo, like, you need to stop making videos that get the most views 10 days from now, and start making videos that you're going to want to watch 100 years from now. Like, I want to make iconic stuff. Like, HyperChange was kind of my MBA, you know, like, I'll go, instead of going to business school, I'll start a company, and instead of paying a bunch of money, I'll make a bunch of money. I'm like, shit, like, it worked. So I'm like, that's kind of why I'm like, damn, like, bro, like, graduate, like, you're done. Like, move on from this being a business project, and move on to HyperChange being like something iconic, something that is your legacy. It's not a project. It's not a school project anymore. This is your art that you're putting out forever. And so I needed to take that mindset. It's like, bro, you can't make 6 videos. You can't make 3 videos a week that are that good, that are that long, about this much nerdy stuff, without putting way more research into them. Not to mention, you're also trying to run 3 other companies or whatever. So that's like I want to make, so that's why I think this timing is so great, because I want to take these 30 days off and then go to Austin and just do Austin right. Like, I want to make it cinematic. Like, I want, when you watch a movie, you should like cry. Like, I want you to not, like, HyperChange right now sells thoughts. We sell ideas. That's like what the product is. And that's great. And that convinces people things. It makes you think. But I think the world right now needs like emotion. Like, we need that, something that hits you at a higher level, that hits you. And it's so, like, one of the most powerful things I saw in all of this Ukraine drama was a piece of art by Beeple. And Beeple, you probably heard of him because he's the NFT guy who's super famous for selling his NFT for like 70 million. But what kind of gets lost in all of that is that Beeple's not great because he's an NFT or this or that, or has anything to do with the blockchain. Beeple's great because his art is great. And I saw this piece about Ukraine that was like, stand with you. I stand with Ukraine is the caption. And it's a flag. It's the Ukraine flag, and it's like tattered, and the city's in ruins, and nobody's standing with it. And it just like, I saw this, and it just like stopped me. And despite reading all these articles, despite everything about the war, like this, it just like was like, we all, and I started this by saying I stand with Ukraine, like, and I do, but I'm not even standing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not there. I'm not doing anything. So, and I don't have any answers other than feeling guilty, but just being kind of like, wow, art is, that art was so powerful. And like, I don't know. And so it just made me realize that like as the world accelerates and in the era of hyperchange, like whether it's war, or technology, or social unrest, like we're gonna have so many big issues to face. Chaos is accelerating. Change is accelerating. The status quo is changing faster than ever. It's hyperchange, and I think humans need great art to be able to adapt to that era. I frankly think they need less people explaining things in sort of a thoughtful way, although that's super important. But I also think we need like powerful art. Like I think a lot of the cultural icons of today, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but like I feel like they don't use their power for good. Like they don't use their platforms to like why isn't Bieber's number one song about like this is gonna sound so lame, but about like not using a plastic water bottle? Like I think we should like I'm gonna invest in this like water bottle company, so I'm thinking about it. But I hate single use plastic and like and I think you can explain it to people for days, but just like culture and art, um that's why I'm such a big fan of comedy. Like I think comedy normalizes the weirdness in society, and our weirdness is going to go exponential with Tesla bots, with robots, with all of our robots are walking around, with AI going around. How do we accept all of these changes? And I think that's one of the biggest miscalculations that Elon Musk has done about the future, because he's so smart, is humanity's willingness to adapt new technologies. Even the electric vehicle has been an onslaught. And that's already some shit we know. That's already, oh, it's a car, but now it's electric. And that caused a whole uproar. You're going to say the self-driving car, that's going to be the amount of jokes and humanizing and comedy that needs to be written about that, and TV shows and music to embed this in a culture. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I really see that as an unlock. And if someone who's been fighting this friction of like, why does everyone hate Elon? Why do I live in a liberal city like Seattle and everyone I meet who is like, yeah, I hate Elon. It's like, well, why? It's like, because his tweets. Well, which tweet? Well, I don't know. Because he's not, I mean, he hasn't solved world hunger yet. It's like, what? And then I'm like, dude, is this the state of like our educated, like people who live in cities, that we have like the smartest entrepreneur creating all these jobs and amazing technologies, and like they can't even think for themselves enough to just like take him for what he is? And they like, it's just like, we're not, if we get the gift of Elon Musk and we can't even let him fly, then we have no chance. So that's why, I don't know. So that's why maybe to me it's like this whole explaining financial, like I hate business, I'm over it. And I think we need to there needs to be a more powerful way to communicate these technologies. Like when robots are walking around, that's going to be so hard to humanize. And so I think so long story short, I'm like, this is, well, here's another kind of idea I've been trying to think about. I always thought through my career I would always get richer. Like, oh, my AUM's going up. And what I realize now is I'm richer, but I'm actually poorer than when I started. And I'm not getting richer every day, I'm getting poorer, because the most valuable currency in the world is time. And how you spend that time is so important. And so I'm realizing more and more, as literally I get offers for people to buy my time. It's like, God, do this, do that, spend money. How much can we get? Can we do an hour? Just an hour. Just we'll pay you this much for just an hour. And it's like, dude, Warren Buffett, you think he's so rich, but I bet you if he could trade places with you, with if you're watching and you're under 40 or 50 or whatever, he would trade places with you if you're broke and 60 probably. Because no matter how much money he has and spends, he won't be able to buy more time. And so I've been thinking about that a lot with my life. It's like, guess what? I have so much time. I have so much time. And like I can actually like, one of my biggest inspirations is like, okay, obviously Galileo. Like I'm named after Galileo. I think about that a lot. My parents are scientists, like, big ideas. I'm Italian. Like I love that. Um and Galileo and those artists during the Renaissance were funded by the Medicis. Like that was kind of the way it worked. Like you had these banking families that would then be the patrons for the artists and say, go to your art. I'll give you all this money to just explore and travel and do art and like just do your art. That's all I want to see you do. And that was led to the Renaissance and all this amazing art. And the first time I started my like sort of mini hedge fund, I was managing like 500,000 in college is like 10 years ago. And I called it Medici Labs because Medici Labs is going to fund Galileo's artistic endeavors. And that's like, it's kind of a joke and a metaphor I made for myself because I want to be, like I said with my peppers, like I want to be the artist and the patron. And I think we're in a new era where that's actually possible. And because of the internet, because you can be an independent business person. So like now I kind of have the breathing room to be that creative person, to spend 6 months on a documentary, you know, to like do it, to put a budget into it and like fund my own art and nobody can say no. I'm greenlighting it. Like I'm gonna write the script, I'm gonna greenlight it, I'm gonna hire like it's just kind of like this incredible freeing creative feeling. And so that's why I'm pausing and I'm like, well, do I want to keep growing my snowball? Do I want to start a VC firm? Do I want to just like grow my numbers on a screen infinitely and get more wealth? Or am I already as wealthy as I ever need to be? And now it's just about spending my time and investing my time correctly. And I should be thinking about not how I'm investing my capital, but how I'm investing my time. And so that's kind of why I want to take this 30-day window, because I'm realizing that me investing all of my time so that I invest my capital correctly is a backwards way to look at life. And I'm not going to be happy. And I'm not happy. So like I'm having, and I say this because I'm kind of being dramatic. Like I'm dramatic. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of a diva. I'm dramatic. Like I'm an artist. I don't know. I'm a dramatic. Like life's short. Have passion on it. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I say this shit. I'm being dramatic. But like, I honestly, like the other thing I realized in this past week or two of being like, screw the VC firm, I'm never going to do it. It's also like, I still have 4 calls with 4 amazing founders and I just can't shut up and can't not give them advice and try and help them and try and invest. And just, I'm addicted to meeting these incredible, smart people changing the world. Like, I can't tell you how, like, I'm just a nerd. And you going to tell me that you, like, the people I meet are the smartest, most ambitious, most risk-taking, most ballsy, just like, I don't give a fuck nerds. Like these people are so like literally my heroes. They're like my friends. And I just think that like, man, so I try not to like poo-poo this investing and all this stuff. I think it's all related, but I don't know. I guess my point there was I'm being dramatic and I see myself like being an investing nerd and wanting to just allocate capital as a game forever. You know, I used to like sports. And I used to know like every stat on the Seahawks in like 4th grade. I'm like, ooh, I'm about to do fantasy. Like I know every single stat. Like I'm about to, you know, now I just don't give a shit. I know every stat about every stock, or I used to, right? And now it's like I was obsessed with that. So like stocks became my new sports. And I've realized more and more like we need, like I kind of and I tweeted this and actually I didn't even really tag Elon and Elon replied to it. So I was like, damn, maybe Elon's feeling this too. Of like, we should root for startups like we root for sports teams. Like, it pisses me off on some level that like we're going to get 50,000 people to go to the Kraken game, which is the new hockey team in town that nobody had heard of a year ago. Nobody even likes hockey in Seattle. I mean, hockey's fun. Like I'm about it. Like Kraken is dope. Like I think it's cool, but it's also like, we're going to get 50,000 people to go to that. And then I'm going to invest in an electric boat company that's down the road and they're going to be lucky to get 500 people at their event or care. You know what I mean? Like, and nobody's cheering with their jersey on. And it's like, wait, like the Kraken win a game. First of all, the Kraken are losing, bro. Okay, so that's not. But the Kraken win a game, like, yay! Like, I guess we all forgot about our lives for a second. That was fun. But it's like, damn, like, the Pure team won the game. Like, we can still forget about our lives and, like, root for this electric boat company. I'm talking about Pure Watercraft. I guess let the name slip. But I'm an investor in them, and they're super dope. And it's like, I think we need electric boats. Like, I want to root for this. And if they win the game, all our boats are electric, and, like, humanity came together to make this amazing change that was inspiring. So that's kind of been my mission with HyperChange is, like, let's that's why I love, like, man, HyperChange in some ways, like looking back, I'm like, dude, we made it cool to give a fuck about batteries. Like that, like dog, like, right. I'm looking at this, ooh, like, bro, like this to me, like, this is almost like my own present for my graduation is like, shit, like invested in Tesla. How many times did I argue that their battery technology was better? How many times did I argue it was more sustainable? Like all these conversations and just like doing so much homework. Wall Street's like, this production, cash burn. And I'm just spending all my time reading patents, talking to the biggest shareholders of Maxwell Technologies, learning about this new dry electrode technology that's going to unlock the biggest innovation in clean technology, maybe in our lifetimes, which is this new type of battery, or just the reason why I say this is such a big moment in our lifetimes, because the shit's given about batteries. The smart people working on batteries, I've seen that just change. And Tesla's made it cool, sexy, smart. Business people are on board. Everybody wants to invest billions in batteries as the new sort of atomic unit of the propulsion system of our economy. And it all started with this. It all starts with this, the 4680. The idea that Tesla said, screw you, Panasonic, we're going to build our own cell in-house, and it's going to be better than yours, and we're going to use less raw materials. And this, to me, represents technology changing the world. This represents, like when I think about the wars going on right now, how much of it is energy? How much of it is because we don't have energy sovereignty in every nation? Well, that's what this is. And so, yeah, and like, man, this gets me like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, you never told me that I would have thought holding a battery would have been like one of the coolest moments in my life, but it actually is. And when I just like having this, anyway, so, and it's also funny because like, man, Tesla's hella cool about it. They were like, we talked to them and they hit me up and they're like, dude, you have trade secrets there. Like, basically don't open it up and test it until like, you know, other people can do that because we want to have our head start or whatever. And like, I even have more gossip about it, but I'm kind of done gossiping. And like, that's what I also realized. It's just like, man, like I'm still in that business school, like doing business. Like, to me, it was like a game. It was like, can I get the first 4680? Like, can I, you know, like, yeah, like this is a game and it's fun. But like, I wasn't thinking like, is this good for Tesla? Like, I make these FSD videos because I'm so excited. I want to test the technology, and then it gets taken out of context. And like, you know, I have a Google alert with my name on it, which is probably a bad idea, but just to see what articles people write about me. And then I get bombarded for a week with all these articles by like big, you know, auto blogs. Like, this Tesla fan's exactly what's wrong with Tesla. Like, look at this person endangering people on the streets of Seattle. Like, just like the most irresponsible, like, and then the DMs I get and the hate that I get is insane. And so part of me is like, I guess I can't complain about that. That's just like par for the course. If you want to be a creator and talk about big, powerful issues, like people are gonna be beefing. That's just I'm kind of immune to it. But it's also like, I think that's another thing that's burning me out is like, I'm burned out because I see it on Twitter all day and I see it in my comments all day and in my live streams all day. And now that Tesla succeed, it's definitely better. But a couple of years ago, like everyone hated Elon. Like, all my friends hated Elon. Like, all my friends thought Tesla was going to fail. I would just get in countless arguments until 2 a.m. being like, you know, Elon is the best CEO alive. Tesla is going to change the world. Like, how do you not give a shit? Like, how, and it's just like, how do you not see first of all, this is the greatest stock pick out of your portfolio, bro. Second of all, like, don't you have a shred of dignity to want to think about the moral implications of your capital? Because we all live in a connected world, and shouldn't that matter to you? And the answer is like, no. And then it's like, I hate Elon. It's like, yeah, I want to drive electric, but I'm going to drive this gas car because I don't want to. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, you can see, right? Like, it's just kind of like, I'm kind of just tired of it. And I feel like, honestly, it's bleeding into my personal life. Like, you can't bring up Elon Musk in my personal life without me getting on one. You can't bring up Tesla without me getting on one. And I feel kind of like bad and guilty about that. It's like, bro, like, chill. Like, not everyone's out to get you. But there's been so many people that are out to get me that have done such like greasy shit to me that it's like, I'm like scarred. It's like trauma, you know? It's like, damn, like I don't hate on your mentor. Like, I don't tell you the person you look up to who actually has changed the world for the better. I don't say he sucks, even though I never met him and don't know who he is. Like, everybody doesn't know who Elon is. They never met him. They don't know shit about him, but they know he's he's inspired my whole career and he helped me on my career. Like, I built my whole shit off Tesla. I invested in Tesla. Like, and usually it's like, I'm on a date. First of all, Tesla stock and Elon's basically picking up the bill. So y'all still be, I know, right? Like, no, I can't even. Okay. I'm trying to work in my comedy routine, but, I don't know. It's just like, and even on a bigger note on that, it's like, bro, like, I realize like I'm kind of lost in the sauce. Like, I'm too on one. I'm a little too aggressive. And I think I need to that's kind of why I want to take a step back and like, I'm doing too much. My patience is thin. Like I'm on so many meetings, I'm doing so much. If I'm in a Zoom call and we're dilly-dallying, the second they start talking about their vacation or like, dude, Seattle, how is the weather there? Let me guess, dude. It's raining. Oh my gosh, dude. What? Yeah. It's just like I'm already like PO'd. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, like, are we gonna do the deal? Like, this is how much money I what's your so and I'm not like proud of that at all. And I feel like honestly being 100% clean, like I feel like I was a dick in some situations, in some business situations, like, and I really pride myself on being like a nice, kind person. Um, and I think, yeah, and I feel like now I'm at this point where like even my parents and friends are kind of like afraid to tell me to shut up. So I want them to keep doing that, and I'm trying to like take my own thing and be like, bro, like kindness and treating everybody nicely and not thinking you're better than people, like you need to like get punched in the face and realize that, bro. Like you are way too cocky. Like, and I accept that, and I'm saying that out loud to try and like process it. But it's like, but I feel like on the other part of me is like, and this is why I realized business isn't for me. It's like, I wrote this whole book. Nobody believes in me. Everyone says you're crazy for Tesla and Bitcoin. I invest in them for 10 years. They each go up 100x. I literally like I'm genuinely curious if you can find an investor who in 2018 articulated the thesis of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tesla and said those were their three biggest investments 4 years ago. Like you can do the math on how much those went up. Like I literally think that's just so like I don't even I'm like, you got lucky, bro. Like you are ready to take L's. Like I'm like, my next investment's probably gonna suck because I am way too cocky and I got way too lucky and way too right. And now I'm like, and so anyway, like, but part of me is kind of like, I don't know. It's not that I want to say that like I didn't get a victory lap, but it's like I get invited on CNBC, on Bloomberg, on Wall Street Journal, on Financial Times, and they call me up every time Tesla sucks. And they'll put me on their shows when it's good to make fun of me. And when I'm just a YouTuber who doesn't know shit, that makes them look smart because this is the only person backing Elon Musk because he's 25 and blah blah blah. And so, and then when we succeed and when we win, and when all those journalists and all those people who I said, promise me one thing, when Tesla puts positive cash flow on their, gap statement, then I want you to write that article because all you're writing about now is how much money they're spending. And the second they make money, you're not going to follow that same logical path because you're not a genuine reporter. And this is why people, oh my God, if you want to really piss me off, call me a journalist because I'm not a journalist. I actually put my money where my mouth is. I'm an investor. Like I make moves. Like I don't just talk about shit and change my mind to get more clicks. But that's what I realized all these media outlets do. And so I don't know, like I am a little bit bitter and on one about that of like, you guys are all going to make fun of me and bully me and have me on your shows and your media when Tesla's down, when it looks funny. But then when I succeed and when you're like, wait, like this little homie was actually right. Like we had all the smartest billionaires on and like they were wrong. And like this little homie we had on was right. Like maybe we should have him on again. Maybe like, I don't know. And so, and I'm fine. I'm doing fine. Like everything's great, but it's just kind of like, and then I was like, bro, like, is that what you wanted? You wanted CNBC to tell you you're smart? You wanted CNBC to have you on and say you made it and you were right, and that's going to make you happy, bro? Like, no. So then I realized like what's going to make me happy is putting out like what made me happy about all this HyperChange shit. It's not that CNBC had me on. It's not that people watched. It's that I know I wrote this book. Like I'm documenting my journey for in a lot of ways for myself. I think it'll be valuable for everyone, but like really it's for myself. And I think that true north is what makes HyperChange dope. Is like I got to have that true north, otherwise we're getting lost in the sauce. So and my true north, like I wrote this little book and this little book came true, and like I still, yeah. So it's like I realized like this is the present. Like me putting out art that I'm proud of, regardless of who accepts it or who appreciates it. But as long as I fuck with it, like that's what is going to make me happy. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little too emotional and sidetracked, but like, yeah, like that's why I love like, and I think it's weird. People are like, yeah, like my dad last night's like, Gali, like you're really gonna do that comedy? Like he's like kind of like, damn, bro, like you really want to quit business and like try and like do stand up or some shit? Like, damn, like that's okay. Like probably like kind of like laughing, but kind of being like I don't know, a little bit of respect, but yeah. And so that's kind of like, I don't know, looping back to all of that. Like, I realized I want to do these creative projects that are going to make me happy 4 years from now, not try and do projects that I think people, you know, and like, I'm trying to be the person that I think y'all need, right? Instead of being the person that I am and sharing that. And so I feel like I just got lost in the sauce with that. And that's why I'm trying to take this 30 days, like, bro, like, you need to not, like, there's so many stories to tell. Like, I don't know. And so on one hand, I'm like super sad and like bittersweet. I don't know why, because nothing's really changing. But um I'm just like, I almost miss you. I almost am like, fuck, like I don't want to say bye to HyperChange for 30 days. Like the second I'm already like trying to decide and commit to be like, all right, for 30 days, like I won't do HyperChange. I just need to like, or I'm literally not doing any business. Like if I'm doing any business, it's HyperChange, but I'm literally doing nothing. Like I need to just like almost like a meditative retreat. Like my only goal, actually, I hate having goals, but it's like I need to work out. Like I want to just get in hella good shape and like be eating hella good and like be hella healthy and be the strongest I've ever been and just like get my mind state clear, feel good about my body, feel good about my health, and like nothing else matters, and then kind of like reset and recalibrate and move forward. So I really appreciate y'all. I also want to like, fuck, I don't want to tear up, but like y'all changed my life. Like fuck, like I'm straight up living my dream, and like, man, I know it's gonna be lame. I'm like, fuck. I hope some cool people that know me aren't watching. But yeah, yeah, like I feel like I was broke as fuck and like not going anywhere in life. Just kind of like I was like on the treadmill, you know, like. And then I just like bet on myself, decided to make a change. Y'all believed in me, and now I'm like fucking here, and like we did it, and like Tesla's succeeding, and like I have enough money to pay my rent for a year in this dope crib and make art, and like who else gets that privilege? And like I almost feel guilty, and like so I just want to say thank you, honestly, because like y'all believed in me, and it's like fuck, like I know it's being corny and I'm crying and shit, but like yo, like if you're saying Gali's corny right now, you never been through some shit like this, because like yeah, like anyway, I think it's dope. Um like man, like I don't even cry like that usually, but like you know what I mean? Like I just feel like I had this dream, and like I'm trying to like, this is what I'm trying to like convey is like you, that dream that you have that like nobody really believes in, but like you believe in and you see it, like that could happen. Like it probably will happen if you just try. Like if you already have it in your head, like I think you should do it. So I just want to say thank you, honestly, for like trust, like yeah, like fuck. Like I hope, and I know I'm not a financial advisor, nothing in the show is financial advice, but like fuck man, I hope y'all made money on Tesla. I hope y'all made money on Bitcoin. Like and like all right, I'm keeping my composure. But like so the other thing that like yeah, and like honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's what made me so happy about Tesla and Bitcoin is like I didn't take the 2 and 20. Like I didn't set up a fund and invest in Tesla for you. I didn't set up a fund and buy Bitcoin for you. Like I just said what I was investing in and people did it. And people come up to me all the time being like, bro, like you did it. Like I invested in Tesla because of you. Now I'm a millionaire. Da da da. Changed my life. I paid off my loans. Like me and my wife bought a crib. Now we're happy. Like, and like, they're like, thank you, bro. And I'm like, dude, thank yourself, bro. Like you did it. You like you bought shit. Like you bought Tesla. I didn't do shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, um, like, and that makes me really sad that like if I do this new VC thing, like, you know, like this kid who ran up to me in Germany, like when we were at the Giga Berlin thing, like I swear we became best friends instantly. He probably knows. He probably watching. He's like, Gali, bro, like, what's good? Like, you made me, like, dog, like, you changed my, like, and just like this young kid. And it was like, bro, like, and now he had financial freedom and like, I don't know, like meeting some of the hyper, because I just do this shit in my room. I'm by myself right now. Like, you know, I'm just in my crib, like talking to some camera like a weirdo. Like, it's trippy that people listen and people watch and people know me, and like, sometimes I feel bad because I was at the Arcimoto event and people are like, Gali, like, I didn't want to come up to you, but I wanted to say hi. And I'm like, bro, like, why would you not want to come up to me? Like, I owe you so much if you watch my show and you give a fuck. Like, the least I can do is like dap you up and say hi and like whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the least I can do. It makes me so happy. And I feel like, I started this because I was a nerd with like nobody being as nerdy as me. I couldn't find anyone in the world that was as nerdy as me in my like life. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll put it on the internet and like maybe they'll and all these nerds popped up and we're all scheming together. And we have such a dope, positive community that's so supportive that I'm so proud of that like, yeah. And I'm like, y'all are my friends. Like, I'm like, so yeah. So that's, I just like from the bottom of my heart, like, I'm just so thankful and grateful, honestly. Like, it really brings me to tears. Like, yeah. And I feel like guilty because it's like, I don't want to say it was too easy and I did work my ass off, but I'm like, part of me does feel that way. So, anyway, HyperChange Graduation. I don't know. This is all over the place. Maybe this isn't a good episode, but, I can't wait to see y'all in 30 days. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And I feel like I'm also really stoked because HyperChange, like, I always had low confidence in life and like kind of shy, pretty awkward. Like, that's why this is kind of like, I'm like, fuck, am I going to put out this video of me crying? That's like so embarrassing. Like, I really hope, one of my, like, fuck. Oh, my homies, like, are my homies going to make fun of me for this? Like, fuck, where is I going with that? I don't know. I don't know. I guess my last advice for like, I don't know, maybe if there's like, I don't know. I guess my last advice, if like, if you're watching or whatever, um, the craziest shit to me out of all this is like what I planned to happen, like kind of happened. And so now I'm thinking really powerfully about like, I say this to my homies, your imagination is the limit of your potential. And so I imagine the show, I imagine, meeting Elon, helping Tesla. Like I wanted to do all that. And like, I almost felt like I didn't imagine enough. Like my biggest I try not to live with any regrets because I don't think you should. Like, you are who you are. That's awesome. Like, don't regret that. But I do have a low regret, which is like I didn't go hard enough. Like I wrote a whole book about it, but like I didn't go hard enough. Like I was scared of my ideas because they were so radical and so like crazy. And my biggest weakness that everyone said was I was doubling down on these crazy ideas nobody believed in. And then like everything, like the opposite of that advice, to triple down on them is the only thing I regret doing. Is that I wanted to triple down, but I stayed at a double down because da da da. And so now when I think about where I'm at, I'm tripling down. And I want to like triple down on the stuff I do. And I feel like um just creatively, like HyperChange right now with the pink bolt, with where I'm at within this headspace, kind of like boxed me into this financial creator thing. And as I'm saying that, I don't even know why, because that's just all self-inflicted. And I just feel like I need to break out of that. And I feel like I've just been fighting this thing of like, are you a creative person? Are you just an investor? Are you just a numbers guy? Are you just a finance nerd? Or are you like an artist? And yeah, shout out to my homie K-Bone, because he's like, I think the dopest artist I know by far. And it's just, he's so good at music. He's so good at painting. He can play like 8 instruments. He's just like dope. He has cool fits too. Like I love K-Bone. And you know him if you've been watching, because he started working with me on his channel. Like he was the guy recording all these videos for free, being like, you'll pay me back later. I got stock in HyperChange. Like, I believe in you, Gali. So he actually believed in me when nobody did. So K-Bone, I appreciate that, dog. But yeah. And like, I don't know. I feel like the advice I would have to young people, it's like, yeah, your imagination's limited to your potential, and think big about it, and like find these like your peers are your greatest kind of like people to network with, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, like I just found so much support and advice from my homies and my family. And like, I can't like, I feel like if I didn't have my good homies and family, like I just wouldn't be an entrepreneur. I would just like fail in life, you know? The other kind of thing I took away from this is like, yeah, probably seems obvious, but like all, you know, your goal is to optimize for subscribers, for wealth, you know, that's what like, right? Like just say it out loud. You're like, dude, you suck. But like, you know, you're getting the YouTube business. That's kind of like what you're doing. You want a lot of people to watch your show. You want your show to make a lot of money. You want to have cool guests. You want to da da da. And I realized that like me getting competitive about that, like overstepped a lot of these friendships I was creating. And like not in a big or bad way, but like this is just kind of me being super candid and like beefing with myself of like I had to learn my lesson a little bit the hard way that like the relationships I have with my friends and shit, and the friends I make are a lot more important than anything else. And so, yeah. And like honestly, that's kind of what I'm most proud of HyperChange is like I have so many homies. Like it just like warms my heart even thinking about them. Like so many homies. And like I don't know, like I'm kind of most proud that like I kept all my homies, even though I like was an entrepreneur and chat. Like, yeah, like I don't know. So fuck, I gotta stop recording. But that's my last advice. It's like your family and friends, like, and I think your family should be your friends. Like, you shouldn't just take them for granted because they're your family. But like, that's like everything in life. So when I'm thinking about like, yeah, I don't know. I just like, I'm so grateful. Like, as much as I'm like running with my career and doing all this shit and making all these moves, like, and I am lost in the sauce and I do get carried away and I'm a shitty friend sometimes because I lose my phone for 3 days. You can't hit me up. But yeah, I'm really proud of like all my homies and that like we have like that yeah, that like I have so many good connections with so many homies and I like that's like I really feel like that's my best accomplishment. And so like I don't know, fuck man, I'm just glad this sucks. But anyway, I'm done for 30 days. Clearly I need a break. HyperChange is taking 30 days. I'm done. Like I love y'all. That's all I'm going to say. I want there to be more love in the world. Thank you. If you watch this whole shit, if you watch this shit show, like, damn, I appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, seriously, like, I hope y'all have a dope day. And like, I'll see you soon. And like, the future's going to be bright. So yeah. Holy shit, dog. I'm looking at this. I'm like, dog. God damn, bro. You look like a mess, bro. This is going to be